staying at home. Okay. Now I will start about the relation between average speed and average velocity of a particle in simple harmonic motion. Generally, if a particle completes one oscillation, it has a maximum distance is 4a, because if the particle moves from point O to A, B, C, D. From O to A, this is the maximum distance. The maximum distance of a particle in SHM is called amplitude. Similarly for O to B, O to C and O to D. Here how many sides will be there for the circle? How many corners will be there? 4. So each one having maintains 90 degrees. So that's why the total distance is, that is 4a. Total distance equal to 4a. The total time taken by the particle to complete one oscillation is nothing but time period. The total time taken by the particle to complete one oscillation is called the time period. So here total time is, that is t only. Now I will go to about average speed. What is average speed? Generally we know that average speed equal to total distance by total time. So that's why we will go to about total distance by total time. Total distance is 4a by capital T. Generally we have a relation between time period and average velocity. Time period and angular velocity. That is 2 pi by omega. That equal to 4a divided by 2 pi by omega. So that equal to 4a into omega by 2 pi. 4a into omega by 2 pi. 2 ones, 2 2's cancel. So remaining is 2 by pi into a omega. So V average is equal to 2 by pi into a omega. V average is equal to 2 by pi into a omega. See here, a omega is nothing but maximum speed. So V max. So average speed is equal to, V average is equal to 2 by pi into V max. So this is the relation between average speed and maximum velocity. Now once again I am repeating this one. We know that total distance equal to 4a. Total time period is t. Average speed equal to total distance by total time. Total distance is nothing but 4a by capital T. So that is 4a divided by time period is nothing but 2 pi by omega. So that is 2 pi by omega. So that is, now we can bring omega to numerator. We will get 4a into omega by 2 pi. So that is V average equal to 2 by pi into a omega. V average equal to 2 by pi into V max. So this is the relation between average speed and maximum speed. Now we will go to the continuation, that is average velocity. So we know that average velocity is equal to V average bar equal to total displacement by total time. We know that if a particle completes one oscillation, its total displacement is 0. So that's why V average equal to total displacement by t, that is 0. Therefore, average velocity of a particle in simple harmonic motion for one complete oscillation becomes 0. This is the relation between average speed and average velocity of a particle in simple harmonic motion. Average speed and average velocity of a particle in simple harmonic motion. Now we will go to some applications regarding time period, frequency and amplitude. For example, For example, if we consider a particle, the particle moves with angular velocity omega with amplitude a and displacements y1 and y2, having velocities v1, v2. Now in this case, the particle having angular velocity. How much angular velocity the particle had? See this one, we have a relation between where a linear velocity and angular velocity and displacement and amplitude is v equal to omega into root over a square minus x square. V equal to omega into root over v square minus x square. So we have to apply this formula v equal to omega into root over a square minus x square. This is the instantaneous velocity of a particle in SHM. So for the first particle, its velocity is v1. For the first particle, its velocity is v1. v1 equal to omega into root over a square minus y1 square. Similarly for v2 equal to omega into root over a square minus y2 square. Now squaring on both sides, v1 square by omega square equal to a square minus y1 square. v1 square by omega square is equal to a square minus y1 square. And also for the second one, v2 square by omega square is equal to a square minus y2 square. v2 square by omega square equal to a square minus y2 square. Now this is taken as equation 1 and this one is equation 2. Now what we have to do? We have to bring y1 to LHS and similarly for y2 also. So the equation becomes from 1 v1 square by omega square plus y1 square equal to a square, and from 2 v2 square by omega square plus y2 square equal to a square. v2 square by omega square plus y2 square equal to a square. Now you can equate, this is equation taken as 3 and this is 4. Now equate 3 and 4, 3 equal to 4. Now we can equate the 3 equal to 4, we get a square get cancelled, remaining is v1 square by omega square plus y1 square is equal to v2 square by omega square plus y2 square. v1 square by omega square plus omega square y1 square equal to v2 square by omega square plus y2 square. Now from this one, first of all we have to find the by how much angular velocity the particle is moving. By how much angular velocity the particle is moving. Now see. See this one. So here v1 square by omega square minus v2 square by omega square is equal to y2 square minus y1 square. v1 square by omega square minus v2 square by omega square equal to y2 square minus y1 square. And in both denominators omega square is there, you can take common as omega square. So 1 by omega square into v1 square minus v2 square equal to y2 square minus y1 square. Now omega square equal to v1 square minus v2 square by y2 square minus y1 square. Omega equal to root over send square to RHS, we will get root over v1 square minus v2 square by y2 square minus y1 square. This is the angular velocity. Similar for omega, omega equal to 2 pi by capital T, T equal to 2 pi by omega. So that's why time period T equal to 2 pi into root over v1 square minus v2 square by y2 square minus y1 square by v1 square minus v2 square. This is the time period of the particle in SHM. And also for frequency f equal to 1 by t, so that is 1 by 2 pi into root over v1 square minus v2 square by y2 square minus y1 square. This is the angular velocity frequency of a particle in simple harmonic motion. Once again, I am repeating this one. If a particle is moving with angular velocity omega, if a particle is moving with angular velocity omega, which makes with the amplitude, and the particle has displacements y1 and y2. At y1 its velocity is v1 and at y2 its velocity is v2. In this case, for this particle, what is its angular velocity and what is its time period and by how much amount of frequency the particle is moving, we have to find. Generally, in this case of problems, if they are given two different velocities and two different displacements, we can find time period and frequency directly by using these formulas. See, once again I am repeating. Generally, we know that instantaneous velocity of a particle in SHM is given by v equal to omega into root over a square minus y square. Similarly, v for the first particle having a velocity v1 equal to omega into root over a square minus y1 square. That implies v1 square by omega square equal to a square minus y1 square. And also for v2, omega into root over a square minus y2 square. Send squaring on both sides, we get v2 square by omega square equal to a square minus y2 square. Now we can equate now we can send minus y1 square to LHS and y2 square also. So we will get v1 square by omega square plus y1 square equal to a square and v2 square by omega square plus a2 square equal to a square. Now equate in both terms, a square is there in RHS, so equate 3 and 4, a square will get cancelled. Remaining is v1 square by omega square plus y1 square equal to v2 square by omega square plus y2 square. So and also here one more thing, now we can send v2 square by omega square to LHS and send y1 square to RHS. So we will get v1 square by omega square minus v2 square by omega square equal to y2 square minus y1 square. In both terms, omega square is there, take common as omega square, that is 1 by omega square into v1 square minus v2 square equal to y2 square minus y1 square. So omega square equal to v1 square minus v2 square by y2 square minus y1 square. So omega equal to root over v1 square minus v2 square by y2 square minus y1 square. Now time period t equal to 2 pi into root over y2 square minus y1 square by v1 square minus v2 square. Finally, f equal to 1 by t, that is nothing but 1 by 2 pi into root over v1 square minus v2 square by y2 square minus y1 square. So these are the angular velocity, time period and frequency of a particle in SHM. If the particles are moving with different frequencies. This is the condition. These formulas are very, very important for solving problems. Now see. Now we can find the time amplitude of the particle in SHM. For the same case, how much amount of the amplitude. Similarly, you can take v1 equal to omega into root over a square minus y1 square, and also v2 equal to omega into root over a square minus y2 square. v1 equal to omega into root over a square minus y1 square and v2 equal to omega into root over a square minus y2 square. This is equation 1, this is equation 2. Now 1 by 2, take 1 by 2, divide equation 1 with the 2. v1 by v2 equal to omega into root over a square minus y1 square by omega into root over a square minus y2 square. Omega get cancelled, so remaining is root over a square minus y1 square by a square minus y2 square, squaring on both sides, comma, we get v1 square by v2 square equal to a square minus y1 square by a square minus y2 square. Now take cross multiplication. Now we can take cross multiplication, comma, we get, so v1 square into a square minus y2 square equal to v2 square into a square minus y1 square. So v1 square into a square minus y2 square equal to v2 square into a square minus y1 square. So you can multiply a square minus y2 square with the v1 square. So we will get v1 square into a square minus v1 square into y2 square equal to v2 square into a square minus v2 square into y1 square. Now see, now what we have to find? We have to find the a value. We need only a value. So that's why we can bring v2 square into a1 square to LHS and send minus v1 square to into y2 square to RHS. So v1 square into a square minus v2 square into a square equal to v1 square into y2 square minus v2 square into y1 square. In both terms, in v1 square into a square minus v2 square into a square, in both terms, a square is common. Take a square common as a square into v1 square minus v2 square equal to v1 square into y2 square minus v2 square into y1 square. Now a equal to root over v1 square into y2 square minus v2 square into y1 square divided by v1 square minus v2 square. This is the formula for amplitude if they are given different two velocities and two displacements. This is also very important formula for us. Okay na? Now see, we can go to simple pendulum. What is a simple pendulum? A simple pendulum is nothing but for a long metallic bob or spherical bob is fixed with one of the long thread. The thread should be inextensible and also having some rigidity. That is called a simple pendulum. Now we can compare with the linear simple harmonic motion and angular simple harmonic motion. What is linear simple harmonic motion and what is angular simple harmonic motion? See this one. This is a simple pendulum. Simple pendulum is one of the consequence of law of conservation of energy. Now the pendulum, this is a pendulum. This pendulum has a small bob. It is fixed to the one of the long thread. The thread should be inextensible. The thread should be inextensible. Now the pendulum is in mean position. That means it is at a rest. Now when you apply the small force, that means the angle should be nearly less than 15 degrees. That means it is lies between theta lies between below 5 maximum 5 degrees only. If it makes more than 5 degrees, if it takes more than 5 degrees, it does not take SHM but it takes rotational motion. But we want only SHM. See this one. Now consider the pendulum. How the pendulum makes simple harmonic motion, how it oscillates. See this one. This is a two motion, to and fro. See this one, how it oscillates. It oscillates about its mean position. At extreme positions, it has maximum potential energy, and at the mean position, it has maximum kinetic energy. At extreme position, potential energy is maximum and kinetic energy is minimum. but at the mean position Ke maximum but potential energy is minimum. So this is the one of the conservation for law of conservation of energy. What is law of conservation of energy? Energy can be created or be destroyed, but it can transfer from one form to another form. Now we will go to linear SHM. Already we learned in IPE thoroughly. Once again I have to revise once again. See this one, consider the pendulum. Now the pendulum is fixed to the one of the fixed support and it has a length L. Now it makes an angle theta. Now the pendulum takes extreme position. The theta, weight of the body, can be resolved into two components. That is, one is horizontal component, theta horizontal component, mg cos theta, and another one is mg into sin theta. And another one is mg into sin theta. See this one. Now the pendulum at the mean position, that means it has a extreme position. At extreme position, it has a displacement is x equal to a cos omega t. When the pendulum makes oscillation, see this one, if the pendulum makes an oscillation, the string gets some restoring force. That restoring force is nothing but minus mg into sin theta. That means here the force is acting opposite to the gravity. So that's why F equal to minus mg into sin theta. But here sin theta is very small angle. Sin theta is very small angle. So that's why sin theta is approximately equal to theta. Now restoring force becomes F restoring equal to minus mg into theta. Now you can cancel the triangle. Sin theta equal to opposite side by hypotenuse. So theta equal to x by L. We know that acceleration A equal to restoring force by M. So already we got a restoring force, that is minus mg into x by L by M. Mm get cancelled. A equal to minus g into x by L. Okay, no? So A equal to minus g by L into x. Generally we know that maximum acceleration of a particle in a simple harmonic motion is given by A equal to minus omega square into x. See this one. Now we can compare with A equal to minus g by L into x and A equal to minus omega square into x. Instead of A is there. Minus is there. Omega square g by L. Instead of x is there. So by comparing these two, this is for linear acceleration, this is for angular acceleration of a particle in SHM. So we get omega square equal to g by L, omega equal to root over g by L. So finally, time period of the simple pendulum is given by t equal to 2 pi by omega, that is 2 pi into root over L by g. Here L is the length of the simple pendulum and g is the acceleration due to gravity. This is the formula to find the time period of the oscillations of a particle in a linear SHM. Okay na? Now we will go for angular SHM. What is angular SHM? Generally we have some similarity between linear motion and angular motion. In a linear motion, if the particle covers some distance, that is represented as x. But here in a angular motion, that is represented as angular displacement, that is theta. Here linear velocity. In angular SHM, that goes to angular velocity. So that's the difference. See this one. Again I am taking the simple pendulum. The simple pendulum makes to and from motion oscillation, which makes with the final angular displacement theta and initial angular displacement theta naught. And also here also the particle takes extreme positions. At extreme positions it has maximum potential energy and minimum kinetic energy, and at the mean position it has maximum kinetic energy and minimum potential energy. So here its weight of the pendulum is mg. See this one. Here it takes, here this is a vertical component, it becomes as L sin theta. Length of the pendulum is L. Now here angular displacement is given by, generally we wrote here x equal to a cos omega t. Here x equal to, that means angular displacement equal to theta naught, that is initial angular displacement into sin omega t. Now the restoring torque on the bob is given by, what do you mean by torque? When two equal and unlike forces acting on a particle is called torque. Torque tau equal to r bar cos f bar. R is nothing but L sin theta, angular displacement. that is L sin theta. F is nothing but mg, but which is acting in opposite direction. Acceleration and displacement both are acting in opposite direction. That's why tau rest equal to restoring torque equal to minus mg into L into sin theta. For small angles of theta, already we know that already I gave a reason in previous case. So tau equal to minus mgl into theta. We know that tau equal to I alpha, alpha equal to tau by I, that is minus mgl into theta by I. See this one, tau equal to I alpha, alpha equal to tau by I. Tau value already we found, that is minus mgl into theta by minus mgl into theta. So instead of tau, we can substitute as minus mgl into theta by I. So here already we know that angular acceleration equal to minus omega square into theta. Now we can equate both these two. So we can substitute the value of minus omega square theta in the equation. We get minus omega square into theta equal to minus mgl into theta by I. Minus mgl into theta by I. So omega theta get cancelled. Omega square equal to minus mgl into mgl by I. Omega equal to root over mgl by I. Now time period equal to 2 pi into root over I by mgl. Here you got a doubt. Why you have to consider the moment of inertia? Generally, according to first law of motion, inertia measures mass. Mass is the measure of inertia. That's why I am considering the I value. I is the moment of inertia of the spherical ball. So we know that here moment of inertia of the ring is given by I equal to ml square. So instead of I, we can substitute ml square. So we get T equal to 2 pi into root over ml square by mgl. Mm get cancelled. Instead of L square, here L square is there, here L is there. We can cancel L. We get L by G. So time period equal to 2 pi into root over L by G. Anyhow, in both linear and angular SHMs, the time period of the particle in simple harmonic motion is given by T equal to 2 pi into root over L by G. This is the information about linear simple harmonic motion and angular simple harmonic motion. These concepts are very important for solving IIT and medical problems. Okay, these problems and these concepts we have to keep in our mind. It resembles very good result. Next, we will see some applications regarding simple pendulum. Now, we have to go about seconds pendulum. What is seconds pendulum? A pendulum whose time period of oscillation is 2 seconds. That means pendulum takes only for oscillation 2 seconds. Then it is called a seconds pendulum. And also one more thing, the length of the second pendulum is 100 centimeter, that is 1 meter. See this one, we know that time period equal to 2 pi into root over L by G. Time period equal to 2 pi into root over L by G. So time period equal to 2 pi into length of the simple seconds pendulum is 1 centimeter, that is nothing but 100 centimeter, that is nothing but 1 meter, by G value 9.8 meter per second square. Now by solving this one we get 2 seconds. By solving this one we get 2 seconds. So this is the value of the time period of a seconds pendulum. Now we will go for some applications regarding simple harmonic motion of a particle in SHM. That means for simple pendulum. See this one, we know that time period equal to 2 pi into root over L by G. Time period equal to 2 pi into root over L by G. In the given problem, they are given two length values L1, L2 and G1, G2 values. They ask to find the ratio of time periods. Ratio of time periods. So see this one, we know time period equal to 2 pi into root over L by G. T is rightly proportional to root over L by G. T is rightly proportional to root over L by G. So when 2 pi remains constant, T1 by T2 equal to root over L1 by L2 into G2 by G1. And also one more important point is the time period of the pendulum is rightly proportional to root L and inversely proportional to root G. That means whether the length of the pendulum increases, time period also increases. But whether the acceleration due to gravity increases, time period value decreases, and vice versa. This is the inversely proportionality relation. This is inversely proportionality relation. Next, see. For example, here when G is constant, when G value, that means acceleration due to gravity remains constant. When the acceleration due to gravity remains constant, then T equal to 2 pi into root over L by G. G remains constant, that is T is rightly proportional to root L when G is constant. T is rightly proportional to root L when G is constant. So T1 by T2 equal to root over L1 by L2. This is one of the conditions for time period of the oscillations. T1 by T2 equal to root over L1 by L2. Otherwise, when L is constant, now T is rightly proportional to 1 by root G. So T1 by T2 equal to root over G2 by G1. This is one of the conditions. T1 by T2 equal to root over G2 by G1. These are the these are the simple applications for solving the problems based on simple pendulum. Now we will go to some important applications regarding simple pendulum. Now, if the pendulum is moving with acceleration A in a lift, in upwards, in upward direction. See this one. Now I am taking one of the lift. Inside the lift, pendulum is oscillating. Pendulum is placed. Now the pendulum is at rest. Now for this one, here tension is acting vertical upwards. It's weight of the body mg, which is acting vertically downward direction. Now pendulum is moving vertically upwards. Already I told to you in the laws of motion and gravitation, if the lift is moving vertically upwards, its apparent acceleration is given by or effective